Welcome to Market Flux. Staying current on financial news can seem daunting. The constant flow of information can leave even seasoned investors falling behind at times. We are thrilled to announce our newest product. Market Flux's easy-to-use aggregator offers real-time streaming of over hundreds of different financial news outlets, delivered straight to your fingertips. In this tutorial, we will teach you how to use this tool. Let's begin. As you can see, the news page contains two starting elements. The first being the menu navigation bar. The menu navigation bar contains a combination of 5 different features and filters. Beginning on the left, we can see a search query field, as well as start and end date inputs for your given queries, a sentiment filter, a news source filter, and a size parameter. All of these will be further explained later on in the video. Secondly, at the top, you will see a moving ticker tape. The ticker tape displays live price quotes for a basket of indices, commodities, and even cryptocurrencies. You can hover your mouse over the ticker tape to freeze the movement of the price quotes. Additionally, clicking on a price quote will open up a dedicated TradingView web page where more information about the underlying can be found. Next, we will talk about populating your news feed. Let's turn our attention to the search query field. If you are looking for a specific news topic, simply type what you are looking for into the search query field and click enter. On the other hand, if you are simply looking for a live market overview, then leave this field blank and click on the search button, which can be found on the right-hand side. Now that you have learned how to search for general market news, let's take a deeper dive into searching for specific news items. Let's say that we would like to find out more information about a given company. Let's use Tesla as an example. Simply type the company name or company ticker in the search field. Then hit enter or press the search button. As you can see, we now have a Tesla-specific news feed. Additionally, you can also search for economic terms. Let us search for the keyword inflation. Simply type the keyword inflation into the search query field and press enter or click on the search button. You can now see that the news feed has switched from displaying only Tesla news to news centered around inflation. Lastly, you can search for multiple news items at once. Say that we have a portfolio consisting of 3 stocks, Shopify, Google, and Tesla, and that we'd like to see a news feed only relating to these 3 companies. Simply type the 3 company names or tickers into the search query field separated by commas. And there you have it. The aggregator is now displaying a feed which contains news relating to these 3 companies. Now, let's take a look at the remaining elements of the menu navigation bar. Let us begin with the start date and end date time period filter. The start date and end date fields can be used to filter news items within a given time period. Simply click on the calendar icon for each one of these fields and select the desired start and end time for your query. If these fields are left blank, the news aggregator will automatically default to the current time. For example, let's look for inflation news specifically for the week of October 1, 2022 to October 7, 2022. I will start by clicking the start date calendar icon and selecting October 1, 2022. You will notice that it automatically defaults to 12 a.m. This can be modified by selecting the desired time, which can be found adjacent to the calendar. For the end date, click on the end date calendar and select October 7, 2022. Hit enter or click on the search button. As you can see, the aggregator is now displaying inflation-centered news dating from the 1st of October to the 7th of October. Let us now take a look at the sentiment filter. The sentiment filter is used to customize your news feed so that you can quickly identify whether the news flow of a specific market, sector, and/or company is coming in as positive or negative. The sentiment filters are used to filter out news based off of positive or negative sentiment. The software utilizes artificial intelligence models to rank news based on positive, neutral, and negative sentiment. News article scores can range from -100 to 100, where -100 is an extremely negative score and 100 is an extremely positive score. Let us look at an example. If one wants to filter for very positively ranked news, type greater than 80 or greater than 90 and click on the search button. Let us use greater than 90 for this example. As you can see, the aggregator is now only displaying headlines which have a sentiment score of greater than 90. On the contrary, if one wants to filter for very negatively ranked news, type less than -80 or less than -90. The aggregator is now displaying headline sentiment scores which meets the following criteria. The greater than and less than symbols can be inserted by pressing on either one of these keys found on your keyboard while simultaneously holding down on the Shift key. Lastly, if one wants to filter their feed to display both very positive and very negative news, the absolute value feature can be utilized by typing greater than symbol, pipe symbol, followed by a numerical value. The pipe means to filter news on the absolute value of the numerical quantity specified in the filter. The aggregator will now stream positive or negative news that meets the specific numerical criteria. You can insert the pipe symbol by pressing on this key found on your keyboard, while once again, simultaneously holding down on the Shift key. The aggregator has the capability to filter your feed based off of specific news sources. The aggregator currently has over 350 unique news sources. However, at times one may like to only see specific news flow from a restricted set of news outlets. To filter your feed by specific news sources, simply go to the Sources drop-down menu and select the news providers of interest by clicking on them individually. You can scroll through the list or quickly type the name of the news outlet to see if it is available. Once you have selected your preferred news sources, press on the search button. The aggregator will now only display news flow coming from those providers. For example, if one would like to search for inflation news specifically from Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, Reuters, and CNBC, simply type inflation in the search query field and then select the previously mentioned news sources in the news source filter and click search. To reset the news source filter, press on the X found in the drop-down menu to clear the contents. Then click on the search button, and the aggregator will be in its default setting. Lastly, by default, when the news source filter is left blank, the aggregator will be displaying news flow from across all 350 unique news sources. Next, we will talk about the size filter. The size filter can be utilized to specify how many articles the news aggregator will return to the console. By default, the aggregator will display 100 news articles or tweets for any given set of filters or search queries. For example, if you'd like to search for inflation news and only want to see the 5 most recent news articles, simply type 5 in the size filter field and click on the search button to update your feed. To reset this filter, remove the numerical value from the size filter and click on the search button once again. Note, the size filter has a maximum limit of 300. Therefore, there can be only 300 news articles returned to the console with each individual search query or filter. Let us now take a look at an individual news card. We will begin by explaining the visual components found on a news card. The first component is the title. This can be found on the most upper left of the card, and it represents the news source. The second component can be found right underneath the news source. This is referred to as the timestamp. The timestamp represents the date and time for when this particular news item was aggregated. Let us now turn our attention to the upper right-hand side of the news card. The third component, and in some cases components, are the hyperlink icons. Currently, a user can only see one of 2 possible hyperlink options. The first being a Twitter bird, and the second being an RSS feed symbol. The blue Twitter bird indicates that this news item was released on Twitter, and the RSS symbol indicates that this news item was released on a news outlet online. A news card with more than one RSS symbol can indicate that multiple news sources have released a news article with the same title, oftentimes creating duplicates of the same news articles. The aggregator will automatically group these news items together so that your news feed can maintain a constant, clean flow. If you would like to see the original article or would like to see the tweet on Twitter, simply click on the icon of your choice and a dedicated web page will automatically open up. Next, we will look at the remaining news card elements. As you can see, there are 2 dividers which isolate a body of text. This section is where you will find the headline for each individual news release. Lastly, on the bottom left corner of the news card, we can see the sentiment rank for the given news item. This score is calculated by the aggregator's sentiment models. It will display one of 3 options: a negatively scored sentiment, a positively scored sentiment, and a positively or negatively neutrally scored sentiment. The aggregator will present these scores by associating a different color to each individual news card. A green-colored news card will indicate that a headline or tweet is positively ranked. A gray-colored news card will indicate that a headline or tweet is neutrally ranked. And lastly, a red-colored news card will indicate that a headline or tweet is negatively ranked. Market Flux thanks you for watching this tutorial. Additional resources can be found on our website. If you have any questions about the tool or would like to reach out, you can reach us on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The Market Flux team and community welcomes you.